I was raised by my maternal grandparents.
You said you learned to read from a Sears catalog. How did that come about?
I did not go to kindergarten. I went to first grade. I got sick 2 or 3 months into the school. And frankly, I don't think I had anything more wrong with me than a case of the flu or something like that. I was taken out of school, and I didn't go back to school until the 3rd grade. Then I was out a couple more years. Finally went to public school. During that course of time, I guess you'd call it homeschooling, but there was no such term at that time. And so my grandmother said I was too sick to go to school. I really doubt that as an adult. She didn't want me to go to school. She taught me to read out of a Sears catalogue. We'd look through the catalog and teach me all the words, and then I got a little bit of math training because I would take the order form out of the back of the catalog and make up play orders of things. And of course you have to do the math, and that's how I learned. I went back to school about, I think it was the 5th grade, and stayed all the way through graduation from high school. I took saxophone lessons in the 6th grade, and then later on I took professional lessons. Later joined the Sheriff's Boys Band, which is a very, very well-known band in those days. He would reward us by getting his parts as an extra in a movie. So I was in State of the Union with Spencer Tracy and Katharine Hepburn. I was on the movie set, and I'm in the last scene. I'm playing in the band, back in the back. And with that money, I bought a brand new saxophone, a Buscher 400. I've still got it. It's downstairs, and I've played it ever since.
You also, I guess you had some band marching.
In those days, there were community bands every place all over the country. I played in several of these bands, and I drum majored.
You were a baton twirler as well?
Oh, yeah.
You also were in a contest?
Oh, yeah. 1948, I'd almost forgotten about that. I was in the contest. Somebody came in first. I came in second. And a beautiful young lady named Debbie Reynolds, future movie star, she came in third. Of course, I didn't know she was going to be a movie star at the time.
You're also a pilot?
Yeah, and I joined the Air Force. I actually joined as an apprentice bassoonist. Then they found out I really couldn't play the bassoon, so I changed to saxophone. But the first sergeant called me and said, "We like you, we think you're doing good, but you shouldn't make music your career." I got the money. He said, "So what you need to do, you need to get your commission and become an Air Force pilot. Go to aviation cadets." And I said, "I can't do that. I'm only 17 years old with a high school diploma, no college, and that's it." He said, "Well, there's a special program for people without a college degree to become an Air Force pilot and get the commission if you pass the test." My Sears Roebuck education helped me, I guess, because I passed the test with flying colors, and I went to aviation cadets, primary flying school. That's where I met my future wife, by the way. And so I became a jet pilot, jet fighter pilot, at age 20 with only a high school diploma. I went to the University of Arizona in Tucson and entered college. And by that time, of course, I was married and we had 2 kids. And I got a job first as a gas station attendant. I went from being a jet jockey to a pump jockey. That wasn't paying enough, so I had an opportunity to get in the police department in Tucson. So I was a cop in the city of Tucson for a couple of years, and I loved the job. It's one of the best jobs I've had, and it's kind of semi-military. I got my bachelor's degree in elementary education. I taught school in Southern California, and I was teaching kids who were far better off than my own kids, and I didn't like that. I got recalled into the Air Force. I asked, and they called. In Alaska, our job is mainly intercepting Russian bombers who were invading American airspace. We'd go up and play cat and mouse with each other. I ended up at Vietnam, had my 40th birthday in Vietnam. By this time, I've got a wife and 6 kids. Instead of my pretty blue uniform, I'm wearing a John Wayne outfit.
You've been in Alaska legislature for
14 years.
Also, you found a family member that you didn't think
Oh, yeah. I discovered a brother, half-brother. It took me 81 years to find the guy. I didn't even know he existed. I'd been doing genealogy. I was raised by my maternal grandparents. My mother was a dancer, and she married a fellow named George Wood. He failed in business. His business was robbing liquor stores, and he couldn't figure it out. He ended up in San Quentin and later Folsom. There was a friend of the family named Jess Escobar, rather a famous tango dancer, and he had told me I must have been 6 or 7. He was actually my father. I took one of the DNA tests, came back half of my DNA was from the Iberian Peninsula. Well, who lived there? That was Spain. And where did the Spaniards go? They went to Mexico. So then I did some more research and found him, Jesse Escobar, the same name as his father. So I found him. We look fairly similar. He's more athletic than I am. He is a retired Hollywood detective. Two of my kids are Deborah and Marla. Two of his kids are Deborah and Marla. I've had a chance to meet him, and I've